Well, here we go once again. Tonight, I feel that we need to backtrack just a little bit because I'm a man and we as men need help. Unfortunately, and I've already touched a little base on this in one of the shorts, but it's a subject that really needs to be touched on more and more, and I'm hoping to inspire other men to help out because our younger generation is only going to keep repeating the nonsense that we're doing if all they have in front of them is nonsense. You hear them saying more and more here lately, chivalry is dead. Chivalry ain't dead. We just ain't doing our jobs correctly. Okay? So, one, if we pick back up the pieces that we've been neglecting, and if we could also have women stop pushing us to where we can't even do the things that we need to do. God made them a woman and gave them special benefits. So women, enjoy having your special benefits. And don't stop the men, boys, young men, from learning and applying themselves to accomplish those benefits. Okay? Now, first of all, there is no excuse. I'm not going to accept one, neither with the Lord, as to why we have so many young men and boys just wasting their lives doing a bunch of nonsense and not growing up to being true men. Now, we can't stop them from growing up and becoming a man, but being a true man. Okay? Age, they always say, ain't nothing but a number because half of us act just like that, like it's nothing but a number. But come on, we need to be really doing better than we're doing right now. So parents, loved ones, family members, neighbors, whomever you are, you seen a young man, a little boy, struggling with his manhood, don't put him down. Let's stop poisoning our youth. Boy, you can't cry. That's childish. One, he's a child and he has feelings. Just help him process what he's going through. Don't punk him out because you're programming at the same time and you're programming wrong. So let's help them by us first starting by doing better. All right? So if there is no one available around you, like you said, every man on the planet is just the worst things ever, fine. It's still not an excuse. You can still learn to do right by seeing everything wrong. Now you know exactly what not to do. Does it not make sense? If you're around someone and you say, well, let's look at this. Ted Bundy. That's my daddy. Ted Bundy. Does that mean I need to grow up and kill people? Or do I have a choice? I got to break that in there real quick. Because at the end of the day, in so many different subjects that we could touch base on, this one word really puts the hammer to the nail. You, as a young individual, and even older one, have a choice. We can all choose to do better. And if we do, we can help them better. So just because your parent is whatever, a drunk, use drugs, maybe he's a woman beater, it doesn't mean you got to do the same thing. If he's in jail, you don't have to join him. You could say, okay, well, I seen everything he did that I didn't like, so I'm not going to repeat that. I'm not going to do that. I could bring it back to technically my own father. Everyone that knows my father would tell you he's the master of just about everything. Does that make him perfect? No. There's a lot we love about him. There's a lot I love about my father. But growing up, I didn't love everything about my father. But even the things that I may have disagreed with, I learned from. Because then I said, okay, if he make a mistake here, I don't want to do the same. I want to do better. Keeping in mind, I probably was more of a little bit more of a judge than probably most kids, because remember the young man that I spoke about before and how he felt about his mother? Trust, everything that moved around my love, yes, I came in to investigate a little bit closer because homie didn't play that. I can't just have anything and anyone, despite who you are, going up against my love. So if all I want to do is give a love, all I want to see anybody else doing was giving her love. So everybody else have the same choices like I did as a young person, to saying, hey, if I see you doing good, I could like that and apply that. If I see you doing bad, I could learn from that and not repeat that. Not use it as an excuse to then do the same. Back in the day, they said 2 wrongs don't make it right. Well, guess what? It didn't change. Still today, 2 wrongs still does not make it right. Okay? I'm going to shift a little bit. There was this other young man, because my father was in the States while we were growing up in the islands, that saw a young man that was very eager to learn from his own father that wasn't there at the time, and he stepped up. He had his own family. He had 2 kids. But Bryna took the time to make time to then spend with this young man. And sometimes he'll just come grab me even for the weekend to be there with the family, as part of the family, like I was his own kid. And having an influence like that also helps open the eyes to a younger individual, because when, like myself, got to experience, here's a man that ain't got nothing to do with the family, ain't having a relationship or nothing with my mother, and really don't have to be there or do anything. But he still took it upon himself to show me, hey, though dad may not be here, you can still have someone that you could turn to, talk to, look up to, be there for you. And I grew up doing the same thing for others. Hence why one of my other shorts says, I went from 5 kids to 205 and it's still growing. Because the love that was instilled in me still lives on. So if we're placing the right thing in these younger children, as they grow up, trust me, it will blossom into something greater. Now, the only thing I wish is that I was able to tell Bryna before he passed away how much I loved and appreciated him for all he did for me as a young man. Okay? I'll give you 2 others. They were my pastors, Pastor Bentley and Pastor Hamilton. They love me like a pastor. Pastor's going to love you all. They loved me too. But they also treated me like a son. And again, it was very much appreciated because it's an extra extension that was not required to any of them. But yet their heart opened up enough to say, hey, though you may not be biologically mine, you're still mine. All right? You know what? In fact, I have to throw a young lady in there. And unfortunately, the Lord called Gloria home as well. She always said, you're my son. You may have been birthed by love, but you're my son. And trust, Gloria was truly a mother without having to give birth. I never had to ask questions. I never had doubts about if anything was to ever happen with mine. I was not motherless. She definitely, when I say stepped up and showed herself true, all the way to the point when she was leaving this earth. She did her thing. I miss her too. All right, so had to throw her in there a little bit. But let's get back to things. Remember, we have choices. Okay, we threw a little bit about being in jail. We see Judge Mattis, he comes out, he says, hey, I wasn't there. But what? Now I'm doing something better than going back to jail. So he made a choice that despite younger days, now I get to do something more miraculous instead of waste my life. All right. Now he can touch and teach others because he have stepped up and stepped out of the limelight of the nonsense so that he could bring sense to others. So I got to give him a little shout out myself. Not saying he's perfect or anything else, but it's good to have examples out there of individuals that is truly being looked at as someone that wasn't perfect, but is doing good. Okay? We're not perfect, but we all can do good. All right? So, there's a lot of voids out there. A very humongous load of voids in a whole lot of people from young to old. But again, I'm really leaning more towards our youths, our young men, and even our men. We have a lot of voids. Okay? Many of us grew up never able to find out who our birth father is or build a true connection with anybody or whatever the case is. But now that we're older, we're required to provide something we've never had. Now, in most cases, if you haven't been exposed to or experienced, how do you really deliver? But no one is asking us or showing us how to deliver what was never there. So again, we need to stop spreading the poison across the generations. Because it ain't going to get better, it's going to get worse. Let's help our next generations to do better, despite the fact of the position they may have started in. Because it's never how you start the race, it's how you finish. All right? So there's a lot of voids out there. All right? We need to pay attention to that. A mother's love cannot fill the void of a missing father. There's something about us that you want, you need, you desire, you hope for, you long to have that manly bond, that alpha male connection. And some of you women are really tough. I got to give it to you. There's quite a few that I know that if you stand up, I'll gladly walk behind you because I know ain't nothing passing you to get to me. But it still doesn't replace that void that a young man needs from another male, especially as he's growing up and maturing into one himself. Okay? We do need you women, though, because a lot of us, especially within that void, need to also learn how to utilize compassion and love from a soft heart, which doesn't make you a soft man. Hopefully I don't have to repeat that. So please really take that in, let it sink deep, especially if you're males listening. You don't have to act so tough, act so strong, act like Superman. I know life is trying to make you feel like you're a robot and everything else. Like we don't have feelings. We hurt too. Oh, he's crying again. I'm a Cancer. And they say, Cancers, all they do is cry. Well, you know what? If that makes us little punks, Jesus wept. Show me a punk. Oh, that's what I thought. All right. So back that thing up. Thank you very much. All right. Tears is not about weakness. Many times it might be better for us to cry than to act out, because then you might be the one crying. So let us cry, deal with our own inner whatevers, than expressing it and expelling it onto you. Because then you really ain't going to appreciate. Are you getting the point? So again, stop punking him out. You know what? Go over, give him a hug. Hang in there. Women have tough days. Men do too. Women have hurt. Men do too. It ain't nothing y'all really going through other than birth. We can't give that. I'm one that would gladly, if I could help. But still, let's be mindful. Pain is pain. And pain doesn't have a gender. Pain don't care if you're young or old. It is simply pain. So when anyone is experiencing it, recognize what's actually happening, not who it's happening to. And deal with the fact of what's happening, not just who it's happening to. All right? Then we'll all be doing better. And is that not the hopes that we all will be doing better? Wouldn't we love to see more and more real men being developed and raised and doing the right things, versus more and more of our males growing up to join the multitude, the plethora of those in jail cells or being killed or killing each other or going on drugs and all this other stuff that's going on. Come on. Insanity is there as a reason. If you're going to keep doing the wrong things over and over, you can't expect the right thing to come out of it. So, again, let's do better. All right? Now, again, that a woman's love, we need it, but it cannot fill that void. So at least let's not overlook the fact that there is one. If you have a son, or you know someone else's son, whatever the case is, and there's a void, it's important. Help that young individual. Help that older individual. Help that man. Help the old man. Whatever it is, still help the best you can. Because voids can get us to do some crazy things sometimes. All right? When you can't feel it, you just try to subdue it or act out, and that's when it really gets ugly. All right? So let's again help kill the poison that's spreading. It's been spreading too long, and we can do a lot better than we're doing. All right? Now, I've spoken if there's no one, or how to look at what's actually happening and learn from, so that you can not repeat what's been going on. There's other things that can be introduced. There's an amputee out there, no arms, no legs, and he's a parent. What is he doing? Complaining? I can't even lift my child up. I can't play ball. I can't run. He ain't doing none of that. He's a motivational speaker, helping people with arms and legs. Think about that for a moment. The ones with it ain't doing what they need to do, and the one without is. Does that not say something to you? Should you not be doing better? Because if he can, and he can love, and he can raise his child without arms and legs, what's your excuse? If he could grow up from a little boy and be an inspirational man, what's stopping you from growing up into an inspirational man? Nothing. Choice. Remember that word? I'm going to keep hitting you with that. And it's probably going to be in more and more segments, because we got to really dig deep and recognize what we need to actually recognize. We all have a choice. Stop the excuses. Stop looking for one, because there is none. Also, having a void is not bad. I know some probably looked at me like, now he done lost his cotton picking mind. Voids are bad. Yeah, but no. Those with a void, remember about that choice? See how that worked back in there? Can choose to use that void to become better than what they have been experiencing. Just because you have a void don't mean you need to give one to someone else. Fathers, you grew up saying, I ain't never had nobody there for me. I don't know who my daddy is. All men suck. None of them was inspirational. Ding, 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 ding. Why don't you become one that is inspirational? One that is not giving out a void for some other kid to grow up with, to feel the same ugliness inside, the same hurt, the same longing. Why don't you help put that mess out and provide something better? So, Moms, for those that are a little troubled because you say, well, I'm doing my best, but I can't fill his void. Don't just look at the negative side of him having the void. Look at the positive side too, and help your child grow to where he can replace his own void in everyone else that he touch. Wouldn't that be powerful? Wouldn't you feel blessed? And the Bible always says the child will grow to call his mother what? But you got to do the right thing too. If you're punking him out, but if you're praising him up, maybe you won't have to worry as much as, man, I don't have a man here in his life. Don't mean that he can't turn out to be one great one. So don't give up hope. All right? Stay strong and help him along the way. And if you need to cry, who better than you to come to? All right. So again, we're going to jump back to our men. Every now and again, I got to throw the women in there because we wouldn't be nowhere without them. You know, we started off everything, and then the Lord says, we can't have y'all just sitting around here alone. So Adam, I'm going to give you a helpmate. And then we started messing up. But we ain't going to go down that road. That might be another segment. All right. If my daughter was here, and she says it all the time, not just to me, she says, a father to a young lady is a first love. A father to a little girl is her first love. Guys, if we're doing it wrong, we're teaching them wrong. And then we get upset when you say she's out there with all these thugs and jailbirds and whatever else. If she's out getting beaten, was she watching you beat your significant other? Was she just being beaten herself? Come on. A father's first love. You know how powerful that is to young ladies as us young men growing up. What you're doing is not just affecting you. It's affecting the young women too. And then they grow up to then just go with whatever they've been exposed to. Well, look at how he talks to me, or whatever else. Staying on that line just a little bit longer. My same daughter that says first love brought her now husband to me before he was back in high school. Dad, meet my friend. I know what that meant. Meet my friend who's very interested. But I want him to know exactly where you stand. And you know what? Him and I had a very good heart-to-heart. He went off, finished school, joined the military, manned up, and got himself more and more accomplished. He's still working hard and doing what he needs to do. But then you know what? He came back and he says, now I'm ready to make an honest woman out of your daughter and ask for her hand in marriage. Now I pray for them every day. They're doing good. They have their struggles, but they're doing good. Again, remember we talked about that lack of connection? If you don't have a connection with, why would they even come to you? If she expressed herself, I'm sure she was The proudest thing, though she might have been slightly scared, God knows what Dad might just say, and he could chase him off. But she know I'm not one to just come chase you out. I'm going to tell you the truth, or don't ask me, and I'm okay with it. But if you ask, I'm going to tell you the truth. And that was one of my baby girls. You're now approaching me about. I'm sure not going to lie to you to help you do anything wrong to my child. And if the devil told you that, you know what they say about Satan, right? The devil is a liar. I'll help you know. He's a very good one. But Papa don't play that. All right? So, again, if he has a void, help him out. Because it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It could actually be a great motivator to be doing something better and better. All right? So, let's help teach them to watch their attitudes and build better manners. You know, you got more little ones shooting you the bird, and none of them call you ma'am or sir or hi mister or anything. They just, but they're learning from home, and if that's what you're doing at home, you're going to do it in the streets. So let's help them again do better. Again, a lion doesn't have to roar to prove it's a lion, right? So why do we have to do things to prove who we are? You are what you are without proving it. So just do better while you're being it. Sounds like a plan, right? Okay. Then we might just move right along. Again, don't build robots. Help him to recognize his feelings and that it's okay recognizing his feelings. Or else you're going to technically kind of set him up for failure. Because now we got to play tough. And then when we get overwhelmed, instead of praying it out, we act it out. And when you're not on your knees, you don't walk away victorious most of the time. But when you're on your knees and you say amen, something tells me you got a better shot to glory. So let's do it right the first time, and then you don't have to repeat it or return to do it again. Sounds good? So please don't punk him out. Uplift and help them do better. Now, I was going to shut it all down, but something is just saying, you know, maybe we might just dig a little bit deeper. Young men, be careful. You might need to choose better friends if they're not ones that is actually helping you to embetter yourself. Simply, even with the law, if they go doing bad, even if you wasn't, you can also be considered guilty by association. So if you pick the wrong friends, you might end up going down the wrong road with them, even if you did nothing wrong. Wrong friends could lead you down the wrong path, even if you did nothing wrong. Let that really, really just... Is it sinking in? See, I'm taking a moment with you. Let's do it again. Now, staying on the note, but just twisting it a little bit. Be a true friend. As you're growing and you're getting more wisdom, Be a true friend. Do not high five people doing wrong. We have individuals that will come up and be like, yo, dude, man, what do you think about this? I should. And they want you to say, yeah, dog, go ahead. No. If it's wrong, tell them it's wrong. Do not high five it. Do not validate it. Do not give them the okay. A true friend would say, oh, wait, I'll give you an example. One day at one of my past employments, I walked in and I guess I was kind of known to not go on the side of the manly ways. See them quotations. And as I stepped into the break room, the guys was all doing their thing. Yeah, dog, I'm telling you. And one of the guys was really just getting the praises, and he was happy. And then when I walked in, the others was like, don't repeat that to Mr. Henry. And he's like, why? I guess I'm supposed to be one of the guys too, so I gotta go along with it. So I'm gonna explain what went down a little bit. He said to me, I've been in my relationship for 14 years with the same woman, doing the same things the same way all the time. And now I need something fresh. I said, really? He says, yes. And the other guys are like, for sure. I said, are you leaving the one you're with to go have something fresh? No, I just want to have something fresh and then I'm going back home. I said, so if it's okay for you to go have something fresh, is it okay for her to go have something fresh too? Because she's been with you 14 years doing the same thing the same way also. And then he about lost his mind. Age to the bloody well, no. I said, well, if that's how you feel about her going out, you should feel the same way about you going out. Because if you need something fresh, she needs something fresh. Now, I'm not saying both of them should go out and do anything crazy. I was trying to wake him up from the idiotic thought that what's good for the goose really ain't good for the gander, or however they say that stuff. If you want to do wrong to somebody else, which he wanted to do, you wanted to do wrong, we shouldn't have been saying it's okay. Go for it. What if that was your daughter? He was going out to cheat on with somebody else's daughter. Would you say, that's great, go cheat on my daughter? No, you will want to go fight because he went out and cheated on your child. Then guess what? Treat everybody the same way. Pretend it's your child. And then say, nah, buddy, we can't do that. Guys, you can't do that. It is not okay. So, again, stop spreading the poison. Stop spreading the poison. Let's do it again. You ready? Let's sink that in there real good. Oh, yeah. Be careful what you share and how you share it. These kids pick up on everything. And they're more astute and aware of what's going on. Even when you try to speak it in slangs, they're going like, I know you're talking about. And half these music and movies and whatever else they're watching is teaching them all this stuff anyways. So again, let's watch what we're doing around these younger folks. let's watch how we're influencing these younger folks. We're quick to then point a finger and even blame their parents. They must not have good parents at home. Their home bringing must stink. Well, the learning doesn't just happen at home. It happens outside too. And guess what? Your kids are going to be outside a lot more than they're going to be at home. So they have a whole lot of influences going on. So if we're all taking our time to do better, then we won't be influencing all these kids the wrong way. Do we need to sink that into? I see a few like, come on, man, you don't have to go there. But we do. Because your influence, you may not catch it, but it is so strong. Sometimes when I just did a segment on throwing in the towel. Guess what they said? Well, man, if he had to quit, what chance do I have? I'll give a quick example on that and then move on forward. Because it was done to me. People says, as much as you loved, your marriage didn't work. So while I'm right there, I'll quickly break it down in this using this picture. If the marriage is a car and the driver wants to go left and the passenger wants to go right, in order for that to happen, the car has to split in half so that it can fulfill that task. If you're not both going to the same place at the same time, something is going to change. It doesn't mean that you failed. It don't mean that you didn't love. It don't mean that anyone did anything wrong. But remember that word again, choice. If y'all's choice isn't aligned and unified, things happen. So watch your influence because it will make things happen, good or bad. And guess what? People love pointing a finger. That you said, boy, where you learn to curse from? You, mom. You say it all the time. And then you go, ooh, wow. I do say that, don't I? So whether you're aware of it or not, they're aware of it. So watch yourself. Let's do better. And we'll raise better future lines. All right? Killing the poison here. All right? Everybody with me? You sure you got it down? Do we need to meditate and get that piece in there one last time before I move on? It sounds good, don't it? Let's yeah, right there. You with me? Let's put it in. Ding, 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 ding. Very good. So, before I end, let me give you a new purpose. Like I've been saying, if we kill the poison by utilizing this purpose, instead of repeating all the same nonsense over and over, let's all decide right now, tonight, that we all will do our best to give the best to our young men, our men, and even our old men, because we all need it. Some is stronger than others, but we all need it. So let's deliver something better and plant good seeds. Inspire in the right way. devote positivity, kill the negativity, and maybe, just maybe, we can all start to see that gradual change of how things are starting to improve and get better for our youth and for our future. And then we'll have more men in families, more children being raised by both parents. And even if the parents aren't together, they're still collaborating with each other. You didn't make the child alone. So each have a responsibility. And that woman said, I don't need you. Can you catch the wind? Then don't catch her words. I don't need you. You're the father. Do the right thing. Take care of your child. She don't want nothing to do with you. Fine. You're not there for her. Be there for your child. Give them what they need. Give them what they need. Separate the nonsense. The child is watching and learning. And then you see a broken home with fighting parents and grow up to have a broken home with fighting parents. What did we fix? What did we help? What did we really contribute? But then you say, now look at my kid. Look in the mirror. They're learning it from us individuals. When we pointing fingers, many times, if you ask them where they got it from, you might hear your name a lot more times than you want to. So again, let's, going forward, do better for these young individuals so that they could grow up getting what they need the way they need it, or at least being directed towards what the sources that they need so that they could get the things that is missing from themselves, or at least help them learn how to utilize what's missing, what's hurting. Because hurt people don't have to hurt people. Hurt people can help people. And just channel that hurt a little bit. Channel that longing a little bit. Channel that lost a little bit. Channel that void a little bit. And all of a sudden, they say what? An upside down frown is a smile. So let's turn them frowns into smiles. Last but not least, let's find out why these kids are hurting. Find out what's really missing. And maybe you might grow to understand a little bit. Little Johnny's always acting out. He's doing this and that. Or there's reasons behind it. We just look at the act and you just going like a bull. But you're not fixing anything. If he's missing whoever it is, you've been married for how many years? You just kick the father out and he want daddy. You're not going to get a perfect little angel because you took a stick upside his little behind. Get to the cause of why he's acting out. And if he needs daddy, though you may not like it, let him and daddy maybe go to the mall or whatever. You don't have to be around. Find out why the kid is acting the way he's acting. Find out why that young person, that teenager, that young man, that old man, whatever. Find out why. Don't just look at their actions. And maybe we can help a whole lot of hurting, longing, voids to disappear. And we can all do better together. Sounds good? Thanks again for listening. God bless.